welcome. You must be the captain Hadrian mentioned in her report.
Oh, I'm sure she did.
Yes, well, precisely how urgent is what I hope we'll determine here today. So now, we have two petitioners here making access to the UC Xeno Warfare Team's Terrormorph data. A request which will require not just this body's agreement, but that of all three Armistice signatories. Now, Captain, we've all read Hadrian's report on the subject, but we have yet to hear from you. Perhaps you could summarize for the Cabinet what it is you see.
That's quite the leap, Captain. Madam President, I object to the very premise of this meeting. While no one would argue that what happened on Tau Ceti was anything less than a tragedy, Terrormorph attacks are not some sudden new threat on the horizon. They've been happening for generations. To demand we hand over banned archival knowledge and possibly upset the balance of galactic diplomacy because of a single attack seems at best panic. And at worst, a power grab by the daughter of a bloodthirsty warmonger and her associates.
I would remind the chief diplomat who he's speaking to. If it's my father you're looking to address, you're welcome to consult a medium.
I would also ask how many deaths the Cabinet requires to act. Because if tragedies like Tau Ceti are just prelude to more attacks, I have no doubt you'll get the body count you require.
Let's keep this civil, shall we? And while there should be no doubt the preservation of life stands paramount among this body's duties, Chief Yassine has a point. Will a single attack, however troubling, be sufficient to convince the other factions to grant us access to what they no doubt consider weapons? I don't think it's enough. Perhaps you can help, Captain, as the one who actually collected them.
That is worth considering. But if there's another attack, will we be so lucky?
Yes, a fine point, Admiral. So then, Captain, given the discussion now and the information you've been privy to thus far, if you were in our position, would you grant the request made to open the archives?
I'm uncomfortable opening the archives without gathering more information. However, if that's...
I'm inclined to agree.
As am I.
I suppose that does get to the heart of the point, doesn't it? Very well. I consent. The galaxy...
You and I are in agreement, Chief. So, if there are no other objections, what was that?
Attention. An incident has occurred. Facility lockdown engaged.
Incident? Chief Sarkin, what's happening?
There's been an attack at the spaceport. Terrormorphs.
Terrormorphs. More attacks. Just as predicted.
Good God.
They're here. Now.
There must be another explanation. The creatures evaded our scanner somehow.
There will be plenty of time for conjecture later. Chief Sarkin, order the evacuation of the spaceport and have your men contain the things, but do it discreetly. The last thing we need is a citywide panic.
Yes, ma'am.
Admiral Logan, the local barracks can provide support?
I'll make the order myself. Nearest anti-Xeno squad, though, is off-world. Going to take a while to bring them in.
Well then, we'll have to make do with the tools we've got. You two, we can't risk those things getting out of the spaceport. I want you both on the next train there. We'll let them know you're coming, and that you've dealt with these things before. Now go show them how it's done.
We're on it, ma'am. Captain, I'm right behind you. Let's get down there.
Careful, grab it!
That's it! Now hit him! With everything you've got!
Stop! We're trying to help you! Got another one! Switching to a new target.
Thank you for what you did. The way those people were acting.
I don't know. We tried to restrain them, but some of the other officers down there...
Pheromonic projection. Some Terrormorphs, they can induce this fall. It affects everyone differently, but some people just lose control. You kill the morph, you break the hold. But this means we're gonna need to be real careful with our... Let's do it.
That's unlocked.
Officer? Are you and this woman... experts? Take whatever we can get right now. We've got the remaining creatures locked down on the landing pad. We're barely holding our perimeter. They said you've done this before. Well, one fire team to spare and whatever supplies you need, but I can't risk them taking over any more of my men. Put those things down and do it fast. Hold them as best as we can. they weren't kidding about you two. I don't want to think what would have happened if you...
Just glad we could rise to the... Captain, we should report back to the President. Take care of yourself, Sergeant.
Attention. The spaceport has been secured. Safety precautions remain in place. Please wait for the all clear signal before exiting your home.
Those people are getting treated now. Don't know what would have happened if you hadn't shown up when you did.
Terrormorph.
That's a relief to hear. Thank you, gentlemen. Let your people all know how much we owe them today. Captain? Hadrian? It would appear that the Cabinet owes you our thanks for what you did for the city. Your concerns about the...
Thank you, ma'am.
Of course. Now, you will have our full support in collecting the Terrormorph data. But to accomplish those goals, we're going to need the right people. As such, the Cabinet has authorized me to as soon as we've got the data in hand, we want you investigating the... Excellent. But as you've both made clear, for such an investigation to succeed first, someone who knows precisely. The Cabinet wants you. We do. In exchange, we're willing to So, I'm glad to hear it. Now, we, of course, won't be Deputy McIntyre in the Office of Interstellar Affairs. You should be able to find her in our office. And on behalf of the whole of the universe.
Damage to the spaceport. The cost of this attack are
I'm gonna go check in.
Pardon. A Vanguard captain. You... Yes, sir. I'll make sure they get what they require. That must make you my Vanguard captain. Welcome to Interstellar Affairs. I'm Deputy Chief Diplomat McIntyre. I heard you were instrumental in protecting the city from the attack. I was also informed that you gave quite the presentation to the Cabinet. Chief Yassine wants you to know the Interstellar Affairs Office is fully committed to this endeavor. We're going to do everything in our power to make sure you have the tools you need. And that means first getting you into the Ark. Last I checked, it takes 2 parties to fight a war. That, since you're such an expert. I'm sure you also know it's supposed to be managed by the 3... Access to the archives is only granted in cases of dire emergency, and requires a one-time use code from UC. Now, the UC is already on board, so that means we'll need to convince 2 people. The ambassadors of the Freestar Collective and House Varun to hand over their codes. Get them both and you'll have your data. But that's a lot. Very funny. Both ambassadors have reasons they won't. Now, I'll provide guidance on... And I do mean cooperate. Though that doesn't mean we can't. But it does mean we need to get you up to speed on who you're Who do you want to start with? Ambassador? The good Ambassador Radcliffe. If Sam is any example of how stubborn the... Now, officially, use your experiences as a member... And who knows? But my suspicion... Huh. Well, if that's the case, I'll wait to be pleasantly surprised. UC Intelligence has a recording device planted in the ambassador. But getting caught trespassing is a quick way to... So, if you are going to try... Now, we recovered some intel, but there's also a disgruntled staff member. All right. Here, your diplomatic ID. And take these. Chief Yassine. Ambassador Balmore. When the rest of House Varun retreated into seclusion, he's since lent his support to a small number of archival requests. So there's real hope, though claiming to know how a member of House Varun It does, but we're not 100% sure Balmore's actually... His public appearances were always rare, but its scans of the facility show life signs. Your task is to find him and kindly, but I have no doubt. Now, the embassy front door isn't an option, but our spies have stated there's a side. Here, this device should get you... And fair warning, we received a report that alarm... Now, if you have additional questions or require clear... I'd suggest you start with Ambassador Radcliffe. Be smart out there, Captain.
Excuse me.
By the way, Captain, Sergeant Yumi was looking for you. Sounds like he's got more work.